Welcome back to eSIMstudios. Have a very special case review for you today. It's the TORRAS Magnetic Slim Fit for iPhone 17 Pro. This is ultra thin, compatible with MagSafe. It is lightweight. It has a matte feel to it. It's anti-scratch. It's hard PC cover phone case. Now, if you don't like this black, but you like the style, well, you are in luck because they have a bunch of cool colors for your iPhone, right? This will color match your iPhone. If you have the orange iPhone, no problem. They got an orange case. If you have the deep blue iPhone, no problem. They got a deep blue case to color match. If you have the silver iPhone 17 Pro, they got you covered. They have a clear case that looks badass on here, and they have a silver case that color matches the iPhone 17 Pro. So TORRAS has got you covered on this case to color match. Or if you're like me that has the orange iPhone 17 Pro, but you want something a little different, well, I got the black, and black goes with everything, right? Now, I'm going to link this down below in the description box. Got all the links you're going to need for this case specifically, and all the other colors that I had mentioned previously. Now, let's jump into this case. So, what a fantastic case, right? TORRAS. I haven't really reviewed many TORRAS cases. I wanted to use it for a day or so just to get the look, the feel, how I like it. And boy, do I like this case. This is really nice. It feels like you're not even using a case, to be quite honest with you. It's the build quality on here is fantastic. The look is fantastic. The design is fantastic. The cutouts are phenomenal. Look at this craftsmanship. Check this out. So on the right side here, where the power button is, this button is just connected by one little piece of plastic right here on the right. So it's super easy to push down on that button. Super easy. Now check this out. Same thing on the other side. That action button right there is just connected to the case by this little strip right here. Very, very easy to push the button on. And we're going to put it in there and I'll show you how easy it is. But look at the volume buttons. The same thing. Connected here, connected here. Very, very easy to push. And you have a cutout for your capture button that, well, nobody uses. And at the bottom, nice big cutouts there for your USB Type-C power port and the speakers down below. Up top, nice and flat, nice and flush. And you have some nice labeling right there. It says TORRAS. Now, on the inside, nice and smooth, MagSafe ring. Not just the ring, but you have that little strip down there at the bottom. That is key. Not many case manufacturers put that little magnet strip down there, and I don't know why, because that helps it keep it in place. So when I was driving around today, running some errands, it snaps right up on my MagSafe car, a wireless charger. And what I love about it is when driving around, it doesn't go sideways. It doesn't, once you put it up there nice and straight and you start driving, after about 10-15 minutes, like on my Samsung device or something, it'll start tilting to the right after, the little mini vibrations and you making some turns. I'm not, street racer out here, but every now and then, if you look down 10-15 minutes after you put it up there with a Samsung, because a lot of these cases just have the ring, it'll start tilting to the right or tilting to the left. And you're like, what the hell? And you're always messing with it, straighten up. Not this one. This one has that little magnet strip down there. And true MagSafe wireless chargers or MagSafe accessories need that little strip down there at the bottom. You have a nice big cutout and protection for your camera island up top. Look at that thing. And it's fantastic because when you hold it, can rest your finger, it rests right in your hand perfectly. So let's go ahead and put it on there now. Construction, they did say it says PC polycarbonate, so it's going to have some flex to it, but it's nice and sturdy. It's paper thin, but it does protect the phone. And then one last thing, as I was testing this out, the capture button, it is kind of carved out, if you can see right there. Perfect for your index finger or whatever finger you use to capture an image and or start or stop a video. Makes it nice and easy to press. So let's go ahead and slap it in there and give it a try. See what it looks like, right? Goes on nice and easy. It is a tight fit, but not super tight to where you're going to struggle with it. So when putting the case in, usually I always start with this right side going into the right side of the case, and then I snap it into place. It's a rather tight fit, and that's a good thing, right? It protects your phone better that way. You don't want the case popping off and or a corner coming up when it does make impact with the ground. Let's hope that never happens, but you know, stuff does happen. Now taking this off, a little trick here, just get one corner started like this corner right here. Get a second corner started just like that, to where the top, you can just barely see the top, and just kind of work it out. Push it through the case with your thumb. Don't worry, you're not going to damage anything. And it comes off just like that. So it is a tight fit, but again, that is a good thing. Now check this out. I think it looks cool with this with this orange phone, because you can see that orange trim all around there. And if you have the blue one, you'll see a slight blue trim, and same thing with the silver. If you have the silver, you'll see a slight little silver trim around there. But it just looks so nice. It just looks really, really nice. And look at this. So you get a decent amount of clearance here for your camera sensors. Look at that. Look at that. Comes up and over. Nothing drastic, right? Those camera sensors do stick out quite a bit on that camera island, but TORRAS, this case has definitely got you covered. As you can see over here on the far side, comes up and over there. So you can lay it down. Another good thing, you're not going to get the wobbles if you lay it down flat on its back. You do typing with the phone on a flat surface, does not wobble. Let's look at the cutouts, right? Let's look at the cutouts. There's a nice exposed capture button there for your finger. And then these buttons, as I mentioned earlier, nice, easy to push, clicky sound. It doesn't give too much. There's no mushy feeling. It's nice and precise, and I absolutely love that. Same thing with the action button. Very nice, accurate, snappy, no mushy feeling. Volume up, volume down. Feels great. Now you get very precise cutouts for your power and your speakers down there. Look at that. Looks very nice. And then up top, again, it's very flush. And on the right side, flush, but labeling. Let's try the MagSafe. MagSafe accessory. Bam, look at that. That goes on nice and tight. That's not coming off whatsoever, and I'm shaking it pretty freaking good. Right? Snaps right on there. So that's a very, very strong magnet. Screen clearance. They do offer a decent amount of clearance for that screen. I do have a glass screen protector on here, as you can tell up towards the top. But you can tell looking over at the far side, it does come up over the display just a hair. So this is, again, look, this is a minimal case. If you're somebody like me that does not like bulky cases, heavy cases, I don't like it affecting the way I use my phone. I want a case that protects the phone, but I forget that I have a case on it at times. This is definitely going to be one of those. And I think the different color combinations that TORRAS has for this case, I think you cannot go wrong with this case. It's fantastic for indoor use, going to the gym, going to the office. Outdoor use, I think, look, is it going to protect your phone any better than a thicker case? No, it's just physics, right? The more material you have between your phone and whatever the surface it drops on, the better. However, if you're somebody like me, as I mentioned, that likes the minimal stuff, I think this will do. Now, what if you drop this on concrete and from about waist high on a, let's just say a grocery store parking lot? You're walking in the store and you drop it. Would this protect your phone? I think so. Now, if you're rock climbing, if you're hiking in Colorado in the Rocky Mountains, probably going to want to choose a different case. Quite honestly, you're probably going to want to choose a case that actually has this back camera island covered, where it just has the individual cutouts. Because when it's exposed like that, look, you do run the risk of potentially nicking, scratching, damaging that aluminum that's on this back camera island. But if But again, if you're rock climbing or something, you're probably going to use a different case. I would definitely recommend a case that has this covered, that just has the individual cutouts. But if you work from home like I do, or if you're just running some errands around town like I did today, can't go wrong with this. Now, the feel of it is interesting because it is polycarbonate, but it doesn't feel like polycarbonate. Polycarbonate is essentially a plastic type of material, a plastic type of composite. And when you feel plastic, you think cheap, right? And or smooth. Well, this doesn't really show fingerprints, and it doesn't feel like polycarbonate. It has a smooth feeling to it. Now, not as smooth as a silicone case, right? Not as smooth as silicone, but it's not a rock hard plastic feeling. I'm still trying to put my finger on it, no pun intended. Whatever TORRAS did to this material on the outside, I have to give it to them because it's not slippery. It's still grippy, but it feels like an upgraded type of polycarbonate. I'm not sure what they did to that material, if they added something in it, but it feels great. It honestly does. If you like a silicone look and feel, but you don't like the stickiness of silicone, or when you're pulling your silicone case and or phone out of your pocket and it pulls everything else out with it. You know how silicone will do that if you have it in your pocket. It pulls everything else out. That's not this. So this might be the best solution, your best alternative. If you like silicone, but you don't really use it because of what I just mentioned, well, you're probably going to like this, because this is not your typical cheap plastic hard polycarbonate material. It's sort of like a soft polycarbonate material. Again, not silicone soft, but it has some sort of softness mixed in there, right? So I think you can't go wrong with this if you're looking for a minimal case. Check out the links below. Check out those other colors. I think I'm going to order an orange one and review that, quite honestly, because I've ordered a couple of orange cases and I get them in and they're freaking red. And I'm like, really? Check out the orange one in the link down below in the description box. And as always, I'll see y'all tomorrow. Hit me in the comments. Tell me what you think. Peace.